Welcome back to the show. We talked about the importance of sleep with Dr. Rayom a little bit earlier on the show. Now we're going to talk and concentrate more on that subject when it comes to sleep disorders. And I'm joined by Julien Heon. He is the Vice President of Growth at Haleo Clinic. Welcome to the show, Julien. And yeah, let's start with that. So how prevalent are sleep disorders?
Well, so they're quite prevalent. Actually, it shows that over 50% of Canadians right now are suffering from symptoms of insomnia or other sleep disorders. So they are quite prevalent.
Have things gotten worse during the pandemic, do you think, in your experience?
Well, not just in our experience, but studies are showing there's actually an increase of about 36%. A jump from 40% to 50% of Canadians. So there's clear correlation between the level of stress and anxiety that the pandemic has brought and the level of sleep disorders or the quality of sleep that people have been getting.
So how can people then, let's share some advice then. How can people out there improve their sleep on their own? What are some of the things they can do?
So Dr. Réaume earlier said, go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time. That's a pretty good one. It's a basic. It's basic about the routine. The best way to get a good sleep is having a good routine. So I would say that's the first step. Then there's different things, especially in the winter. There's less daylight, so make sure that you are exposed to daylight. That you're go outside in the morning, open up the blinds, not just artificial light, but get the most natural light that you can in your day. Other tricks will include we're all working in working from home right now, or most of us are working from home.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're not working out of your bedroom. Making that split between your bedroom and the place that you work is quite important. Your brain will actually make some connections between where you sleep and where you work. So make sure that that's a good separation.
Another thing is screen time, Julian. You know, people are on their phones, their tablets, they're watching TV, and I think we've seen it over and over again. Studies showing that it's a real danger to do that before sleep. Can you talk about how that interrupts sleep exactly?
Well, so it's essentially stimulating your brain. So it's any artificial light, screen lights will be something that will have an impact on your quality or your ability to fall asleep, and then the quality of your sleep. So our experts will say that at least an hour prior to going to bed, you should be off of screens, whether it's TV, tablets, computers, smartphones. So a lot of people will be on their phone when they're actually going to bed. So that's the number one thing to avoid in terms of screen time. So there's a direct correlation between the amount of time you spent on your phone or on your screens and the quality of your sleep.
Are there any things you can do before bed to kind of prepare yourself? Because some people, they go to bed and then they just lie there, right? And they stare at the ceiling and they're waiting and waiting. What can people do to prepare for bedtime?
Well, so the very important thing is to have a routine. So whatever you do, try and do always the same thing. So if it means, taking a shower, reading a book, whatever you do, try to do always the same thing so that your brain knows it's triggering, oh, it's my shower time. So that means I'm just about to go to bed. So I mentioned earlier, but our brain makes connections between what we do and what we're just about to do. So always do that same thing. Reading a book is a pretty good way of getting tired. So anything that's essentially going to ask you to stay awake, but without those screens, can help. If not, it's just about making sure that your environment is going to stimulate your sleep. So, meaning very dark room, quiet, pretty cool temperature as well. So, those are all things that will make sure that you have the most restful night.
Julian, how can we know if we have a sleep disorder that can be treated?
So that's a good question. So a lot of people think that insomnia means never sleeping, which is not the case. There's a few different symptoms of insomnia. The three most commons will be having a hard time going to bed, waking up during the middle of the night, or waking up too early and not being able to go back to bed. So if you feel that those might be some of the symptoms that you're a victim of, then the best way is to actually evaluate your sleep. There's different tools available online for free. One is on our website. We have a screener, a clinically validated screener that you take less than 5 minutes, essentially answer a few questions, and it will tell you whether your sleep is accurate or not, whether you could improve your sleep. Because to your question, many people don't know that they've got sleep disorders, but they're actually living the impact on their day to day.
Julian, really appreciate the time today. Thank you so much for joining us here on Daytime Ottawa.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time.
And sleep well. If
Thanks.
anyone's going to, it certainly will be Julian. Hey, coming up after the break, I think you have probably seen this on social media. It has gone viral. It is the hashtag Betty White Challenge, and it is helping animals in our communities all around the world. And we're going to do right here in Ottawa how you can help out some animals at the Ottawa Humane Society. Stephen Smith, Manager of Communications, joining me right after this. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Daytime on Rogers TV.